Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to my, Tuesday night live. I had to reschedule due to a family matter that I had to attend yesterday. This is going to be the only time, or the only Tuesday rather, that I actually do a white hat update. For the most part, I'm going to maintain Monday night for the white hat update. As I am wearing my white hat, I know it should be saying, Trump. But anyways, I want to welcome everybody. Today is the 10th of September. Yes, it is the 10th of September. We're still in the positive trajectory timeline, 2024. Today we're going to talk about some events that are going to be unfolding very, very soon in implementing the use of the rods of God, which is directed energy weapons that have been stripped from the Cabal and are now in the hands of the White Hats. And so there are going to be some, you could say, a final scare event, particularly World War III, that is going to try to be implemented by the Cabal as their last ditch, but it's going to be counteracted with the EBS and the activation of the Worldwide Alliance military. We're also going to be talking about the end of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and the rise of precious metals and the Sara Gesera and the QFS. We're also going to go over some of the strongholds that the White Hats are going to be destroying really soon. So let's get right to it, because a lot of things are going to be taking place, perhaps even before the November event. All right, so let's get right into it. Oh, a day in remembrance. Before I forget, a day in history on the 10th of September in the year 1608, John Smith was chosen president of Jamestown, having survived captured by Indians. Through the efforts of Pocahontas, a chief daughter, John Smith became president of Jamestown Colony, the first permanent English settlement in North America. This day in 1608. All right, let's get into tonight's report. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Is everything working? Yes, everything is working. Mic is working. You guys can hear me. Awesome. All right, let's start. So, we are living in unprecedented times, guys. Okay, so what is going to be unraveling, perhaps in the next few weeks or in the next couple months, is a biblical proportion, right? There is a new type of warfare that has emerged within the private sector that is actually reshaping the global order. So let's explore the implications of directed energy weapons as they have been stripped from the Cabal, also known as the rods of God, now in the hands of the good guys, in humanity's battle against the oppressive forces that have controlled the earth for centuries. So, the rods of God. Let's talk about what the rods of God are. The rods of God are highly advanced directed energy weapons, also known as DEWs, developed in secret military programs. These weapons harness energy from space to deliver powerful strikes to specific targets on Earth. So we could say that in the past, the Cabal has used these technologies to create fires, to manipulate geophysical earthquakes, to create tornadoes, hurricanes, and so on and so forth, right? Or to just, blow up a certain area of the earth that they don't like. But now it's in the hands of the good guys. So these weapons harness energy from space. So unlike conventional warfare, they operate with surgical precision, targeting the infrastructures of oppression and corruption. They use kinetic energy projectiles, kinetic energy projectiles, satellite-based platforms, and they are nearly unstoppable. They are launched at nearly unstoppable speeds and force. So the use of DEWs is more than just a military strategy. It is a symbolic of humanity's divine right to stand against the forces of darkness. These weapons will be deployed to strike at key sites of satanic influence, signaling the end of an era of global control by the shadowy force. So some of the targeted strikes that are going to be executed, or centers that are going to be targeted, I'm going to just share it with you guys. Hopefully I could share this on Bluetooth, but And this is going to act as the removal of oppressive systems, both physical and metaphysical, the seat of ancient power, veiled in religious authority. The Vatican is going to be the first target. Yes, they are going to direct the first directed energy beam to the Vatican. It's going to be destroyed. That has long been suspected of harboring dark secrets. And of course, we all know that the Vatican has always been run by the reptilian gray syndicate. Okay, so the other place that they're going to use it on is Buckingham Palace. All right, so that's another symbol of ancient, of global power structure, deeply intertwined with the global elite. And of course, they're also planning in the event, of course, in the event, but I don't think it's going to be happening, in the event that they try to, you know, steal the ELECTION, right? What's happening in November? They will use it against the White House. But in the event that they don't, which I don't think they could, they're not going to use it on the White House, okay? They're also going to use it to destroy the Hadron, Collider, also known as CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. They're also going to use it to destroy Gorgeous Dam in China, a modern marvel turned into a sinister symbol of oppression. They're also going to use it to destroy. It was started by what's his name, Jack Pearson, of course, Jet Labs in Pasadena, right? Propulsion Labs, Jet Propulsion. I forget the name of it, but it's been known that they've been, using the underground subterranean levels of, I believe it's called Jet Lab Propulsions. I'm not sure, but it's in Pasadena. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't really think of the name. It was started by Jack Persons, the student of Aleister Crowley. So they're going to use that to destroy that. And also, they're going to target Big Pharma in Wuhan. So knowing that that was the nexus of global health manipulation underpinned by Cabal forces. So a spiritual battle apparently is underway. The deployment of the rods of God, which is now in the hands of the Alliance, the White Hats, will not be a silent affair. All right. So expect massive disruptions to critical infrastructures across the globe. Planes will be grounded right before this happens. It's not recommended to travel when they're about to do this. Trains are going to be halted, and power grids will flicker out as humanity's energy systems are brought to their knees. So they're going to be grounding. There's going to be a massive amount of grounding of air and rail travel. Power outages and communication blackouts are going to also be taking place. Global economic and infrastructure reset, the collapse of, the economy, the stock market, to start, of course. And they're also going to use it to destroy all of these other facilities, any facility that is, again, used by the Cabal. So as the outdated systems are apparently taken offline, the time for Tesla free energy has finally arrived. That's also something that we're going to look forward to pretty soon. So this long suppressed technology based on the harnessing of the Earth's natural energy fields will replace the corrupt and control energy systems that have kept humanity in bondage. No more resilience on fossil fuels or corrupt energy monopolies. We're going to have clean, sustainable, and limitless power for all. A reset is coming, guys, of global energy infrastructure, not just economically. Okay. So the military action, though highly targeted, will send a clear and unmistakable message, right? The old world is no more. A new era will dawn where humanity is no longer subjected by dark forces and the planet can finally ascend to a higher plane of existence. So we're going to be witnessing the collapsing of the old systems of control in general. The rise of a new paradigm based on freedom and light. something to be expected. Humanity's ascension into their rightful place in the universe is going to result in the aftermath of all of this. This scenario is more than just a conflict. It is a biblical transformation where humanity takes its rightful place against the forces of oppression. So the deployment, again, going back to the rods of God, right, and the arrival of Tesla free energy will be marking the beginning of a new golden age for the planet and its people. So it's going to be a spiritual and technological revolution taking place on every level of society. The collapse of the old power structure, right? Humanity's rise towards divine destiny is at hand. So as we stand on the brink of this profound transformation, awareness and preparedness are essential. So it's good to stay informed. Thank you for tuning in. It's also good to spread the message. Try to share this with as many people as possible in preparation for these events that are going to be unfolding, in order to prepare for the disruptions that will come before the dawn of this new era emerges. So it's good to educate ourselves on Tesla's free energy technology. I have a whole live on that I guess I recorded about 2 months ago. Check that out. It's good to prepare for potential disruptions in everyday life and then stand with humanity as we reclaim our divine right for a better future. So let's explore a groundbreaking development, again, tied to Project Odin. If you guys don't know what Project Odin is, it is a, you could say, a white hat, working with Starlink and QFS. It is a white hat takeover of the internet, of social media, and hence, the media in general, right? So it is it's going to cause a global blackout that will result in the destruction of Bitcoin and 99.5% of the world's cryptocurrencies. This event will mark the most profound shift in the digital financial world. So Project Odin is a covert operation designed to bring about a global blackout, right? There's going to be a transition where even Facebook and social media is all going to be owned. It's all going to be in the hands of the White Hats when Project Odin becomes activated, resetting the world's communication systems as we know it. So one of its primary consequences will be the annihilation of major digital currency networks, including Bitcoin. Okay. It's not, if you guys are invested in Bitcoin, it's time to pull out. All right. If you guys have cryptocurrency, it's time to pull out. The only thing that will always stand is gold and silver. Okay. So as the servers and data centers are hacked and destroyed by Project Odin, the only thing that's going to be standing is Nicera Gacera backed by precious metals. Okay. So we need to understand that there will be a global communication blackout. All right. There's going to be a massive disruption of the stock market, the fiat system, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin. All right. And then, of course, a huge collapse of the stock of, you could say, the entire paradigm as we know it. And that includes, the educational system, right? Big PHARMA. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's continue here. So with the blackout comes the collapse of global cryptocurrency networks. That's very important to understand, guys. The backbone of digital currency, Bitcoin servers and data servers will be rendered inoperable when this, Project Odin takes place. Okay. It's going to be hacked and destroyed in all areas. This disruption will erase billions in digital assets in the blink of an eye. So there's going to be a loss of internet services worldwide when this takes place. Just be aware. I'm sure many of you already know this is coming. This is what they call the 10 days of darkness. All right. So not only will Bitcoin fall and, the cryptocurrencies will vanish as well, but the vulnerability of blockchain systems in a fully connected world will be exposed, leading to mass disappearance of most digital coins, including the controversial Chinese state-backed cryptocurrencies. And for those that didn't know, blockchain technology is literally building the neural center of the AI, of the emerging AI system, which I already referred to as the second beast, the Antichrist, right? Okay, so Bitcoin's demise signals the end of an era in decentralized digital currency. Its collapse will leave investors and users with no recourse as the entire network is erased. This pivotal event will lead to a total financial reset in the digital space. The end of decentralized finance as we know it, okay? The loss of investor wealth and stored digital assets, the collapsing of trust in blockchain-based systems. Again, blockchain technology is literally building the neural network of the AI system when they activate the Internet of Things, right? Which is not going to happen in the positive timeline. So we are expecting a timeline split, right? So anyways, let's continue. So the destruction of cryptocurrency under Project Odin is not arbitrary. This digital currencies have been used by various shadow government organizations for covert purposes. All right, for those of you that thought Bitcoin was good, blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, guess again. That's just another element of the cabal, okay? The targeting of these assets, it's part of a broader global financial reset that will eliminate corrupt financial systems. So in the aftermath of the destruction of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, a new financial system will emerge. This system will be based on transparency, stability, and accountability, removing anonymity, removing anonymity and volatility, volatility that characterized the old cryptocurrency networks. So transitioning to this new and stable global currency will be the elimination of all corrupt systems, especially those that are supporting artificial intelligence. Okay, so the sudden collapse of digital currencies will send shockwaves through global economies. Traditional banks and governments will seize the opportunity to reassert control over financial systems, bringing back a more regulated financial structure. Expect significant market volatility, and a rebalancing of global economy. So, the Chinese state the Chinese state cryptocurrencies are also going to be collapsing. Okay, and they will disappear in this blackout when this Project Odin takes effect. So these coins, which have been tied to financial manipulation and control, I'm talking about the Chinese coin right now, guys, that have been tied to financial manipulation and control will be swept away along with other digital currencies, ending their influence on the global stage. So there will be the disappearance of the Chinese digital currencies, right? We're talking about the currency that the CCP uses. There is a difference between the CCP and the Chinese Republic. The Chinese Republic is part of the BRICS union, right, system, not the CCP. So there's going to be a collapse of state-controlled financial projects in China, global impact on Chinese economic standing as well. So yeah, basically we are going to be witnessing also the fall of all cryptocurrency as we know it. Part of the great reset that the alliance is going to be conducting. So in an instant, right, the era of cryptocurrencies will come to a dramatic end. Bitcoin, along with most digital currencies, will vanish, and the world will be forced to rebuild its financial systems from the ground up. So the blackout, Project Odin, will mark a new beginning, ushering in a more controlled and transparent global economy, which will include, of course, the gold-backed standard, the U.S. Treasury, the QFS, which is going to be operating every republic's treasury. So yes, we're bringing the republic to all the countries worldwide, which is a great thing. So with the impending disappearance of digital currencies, it's essential to stay informed and prepare for the global financial reset. Consider diversifying your assets, learning about the new financial systems being implemented, and keeping up with development in the wake of Project Odin. So, the final card, many think it's a fake alien invasion, but because Project Bluebeam has been canceled, they will try to create World War III, which is their final scare event. But that, my friends, is going to give the Y Hats, hence the Alliance, the cue to activate Project Odin, the Y Hat military, the QFS, Starlink, and so on and so forth. So, anyways, let's address what's coming, right? This fake war scenario that they're going to try to push, and they're trying to do that with Israel as I speak, which is going to be designed to shock the world into a next phase of this global transition. The scare event will be dramatic and all-encompassing, complete with nuclear sirens, escalating tensions between world powers, and a full-scale collapse of the stock market. So again, I believe that this has to happen on the current administration's watch. So we're looking at something between now and the end of the year, given that 45 does win the election. So imagine hearing the wall of sirens, right? Watching global leaders issue dire warnings, all right, and seeing headlines filled with panic about water events and potential nuclear fallouts. For most people, it will seem like it's going to be the end of the world, but it's not, guys, because that's what's going to give the Alliance the cue to counteract it and instead initiate the military, right? The Alliance, the positive military through Project Odin. So, but here's the truth, guys, all right? It's not real. World War III, it's not going to happen. It's going to get to the point where they're going to have everybody, oh my God, we're at the brink of World War III. But it's not going to happen, okay? So it's going to be a controlled event, pretty much, carefully designed to serve as the pretext for activating global military forces and martial law by the Alliance. So why the scare event? Some of you guys are thinking, right? Well, they know that they have nothing to stand on. They don't have any financial resources, right? They're literally just hanging by a thread. So the purpose behind this orchestration, you may ask, is to create necessary conditions for a global financial reset by collapsing the existing, pretty much the existing paradigm as we know it. So why would such an event be orchestrated? Again, the answer lies in the need to transition the world into a new financial order, right, which is Nasera Gesera, one that is impossible to achieve under the current system of corruption, deceit, and power imbalances. So it's also going to provide the justification for activating the military forces under martial law, allowing them to take control of key assets and institutions worldwide, eliminating the deep-rooted global corruption that thrives in the current system. So it is important to understand that this event, right, will be terrifying in appearance, of course, right? The sirens are going to be sounding everywhere, but it's not going to happen. So it's not designed to cause destruction, right? It's just part of the final script, guys. Remember, we are living in a movie set. This is just part of the final script. So it is a controlled demolition of the old system, right? Making way for the new system, the quantum financial system, a new economic paradigm. Once the scare event, right, has fulfilled its purpose, we will enter the era of the quantum financial system, the QFS. The QFS represents a radical departure from the flawed and corrupt systems that have dominated global finances for centuries. The QFS will be based on transparency, right, where every transaction will be visible, traceable, and accountable. Gone will be the days of hidden agendas. Okay, that's not going to be anymore. offshore accounts, and financial manipulation. All that is done with the quantum financial system. So we don't have to worry about deceitful tactics anymore. It's going to be based on truth. Okay, this new system will ensure fairness, accuracy, and stability, using quantum technology to track and verify every financial move with unprecedented precision. We're going to be free from corruption, right? The old guard, right, which was run by the Vatican. For those who read The Secret Government, the entire history of the Cabal and the entire history of the White Hats is there in detail. So it's all going to be gone, right? So this is a financial reset, apparently, that will end the control of the banking cartels, the shadow government, and end corporate America as we know it, which will no longer have the ability to control or exploit the people of the earth. Okay, this is the financial reset that has long been anticipated, but before we can even experience its benefits, we must first endure the temporary chaos of the scare event, right? Again, they're going to try to create World War III, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Let's see. So during this period of perceived global crisis, martial law will be declared in many parts of the world, right? This is not just taking place in the States. This is a global operation, right? Gesera is a global operation. Gesera is a country, within the States. So this is not something to fear. It is a necessary measure to maintain order and stability as the old systems collapses and the new one is implemented. So military forces will step in to secure critical infrastructures, especially those that are associated with the Alliance White Hats. Corrupt actors who have held power in key institutions will be removed, which is about 95% of politicians in Hollywood. The transition to the quantum financial system will be safeguarded, ensuring that no external force can derail this process. So this declaration of martial law is not the end. It is the beginning. It marks the start of a new world order. But it's not the old world order that the Cabal wanted to implement. It is a new world order initiated by the Earth Alliance, a decentralized global infrastructure, right? Run by the people and for the people of planet Earth. So the declaration, so what we are witnessing is the dawn of a new era, pretty much. That's what it all boils down to, my friends, okay? The collapse of the stock market, the scare event, and the activation of martial law, which should all happen under Brandon's watch, right, are all part of a controlled process that will allow humanity to break free from centuries of corruption, lies, and manipulation. So global corruption will be eliminated. The structure that once allowed the exploitation of resources, people, and economies will be dismantled. Transparency will be the foundation of governments. No more hidden deals, no more secret treaties, no more secret societies, right? Once they eliminate the Cabal, there's no need for the White Hats to continue operating in secret. Even their secret societies will end. So the world will operate under a clear and just system where every action is visible and accountable. So truth will reign, fellow Jedis, patriots, and freedom fighters. The lies and manipulations that have controlled public perception will be exposed. People will have access to real information for the first time, right? Enabling them to make informed decisions about their future. So, ladies and gentlemen, Galactic Jedis, what may seem like the end, as again, they try to pull the final card, which is going to be immediately counteracted by the Earth Alliance / White Hats. We have nothing to worry about, all right? During this orchestrated Third World War scare event, the beginning of a new era for humanity will entail, right? Will follow. So as the old systems collapse, we will rise into a world built on transparency, truth, and justice. The quantum financial system will be the backbone of this new reality, ensuring that power is returned to the people and corruption is eradicated from the global stage. So through the scare event, which may be unsettling at first, remember, guys, that it is not the end, but the necessary birth pains of a brighter, more equitable world. Let's just always stay informed, stay aware, question everything, and understand that this transition is part of a much larger plan to elevate humanity into a future of fairness and light. And so, from behind the scenes, right, of this orchestrated scare event, there is a larger plan, right? The strategy is set to reveal the truth about global control, shining the spotlight on figures like Julian Assange. I can't even pronounce his last name. Julian Assange and the secret military tribunals that will soon follow. So, with the FISA courts and the military trials, the world will see revelations about, what happened in 2020 with the rigged ELECTIONS, the false democracies, and the shadow government that have controlled humanity for centuries. So the stage is set for the return of key figures like Princess Diana, and more so the anticipated emergence of John F. Kennedy Jr., who will make a triumphant appearance once communications are restored following the scare event. His return symbolizes the restoration of truth, justice, and the American way world, free from cabal manipulation. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Again, I had to switch my Monday night Y Hat update to Tuesday night Y Hat update, but just for 1 week, just this week, due to an emergency that I had to attend to yesterday. So that's why I'm here on a Tuesday night. Normally, this would have happened last night. But thank you for your patience, guys. I know that the debate's happening, the big debate's happening right now, and a lot of you probably are thinking, well, Ishmael, we could be watching the debate or we could be watching you. So for those that are here, I wanted just to thank you personally for choosing to be here with me tonight. I'm sure you guys could also watch the replay when it comes to the debate. So thank you so much. And I do want to acknowledge Radiant Guardians, Joanna, Gabriella F., Debbie, Gender, Sam Griffin. Who else is in the house? Diana 77. Ricky Lee 1111, MJ Alf, Larry Hansen, Neo, Sasha Lee, Sam Griffin, Chastine Rose, Thunder Bunny 7, Mathis Chronicles, me, he says, Sylvia Vidal, Wolf Mother, let's see, Andromeda Daisy, Chastine Rose, Emily Rockchuck, Daniel C., Debbie Gender, and almost 1,000 people. I could understand, the others chose to watch the debate, so I'm probably going to make this one short. So let's just open it up for Q&A for the next 20 minutes, guys, and then we could just call it, quits and go watch the debate. So if you guys have any questions for me, I will address them for the next 15 to 20 minutes. If you guys want to just type them in capital letters, that would be greatly appreciated. It's very hard for me to see it on the screen, so I'm going to see if I could actually find the chat on my phone. One second, guys. I'm looking for the chat on my phone so I could address your questions. All right, guys. It looks like the chat is not coming up on the phone, so I guess I'm going to have to squint and see if I can read your questions. Yes, the Cabal has already lost, guys. The Cabal has already lost. Okay, this might come as a shocker. In order to implement QFS Project Odin, Starlink, the Worldwide Alliance military, there has to be a pre-existing event. So some of you might be shocked, but the white hats are the ones that are going to be, yes, creating this scary event, which is going to collapse everything, the economy, the governments, the stock market, in order to, again, bring the new system. So the scary event is not being orchestrated by the Cabal, guys. It's orchestrated by the white hats. All right. So I know it sounds kind of harsh, but sometimes it's part of, there needs to be a reason, right? There needs to be a problem in order for there to be a reason. So there needs to be an event in order for the white hats to implement the new system. So this scare event is, again, it's going to be staged, carefully staged. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to go into panic and fear, right? Oh, the end of the world, Third World War. But it's not going to lead to a nuclear holocaust, okay? It's just going to lead to the downfall, the collapsing of the current order, and it's going to be replaced by the new system. That's what it's going to lead to. So it's not being done by the Cabal. The Cabal is done with. Again, the Cabal does not have any more advanced alien technologies. They have been stripped from that. We have the rods of God. We have HARP. We have control of CERN. Guys, we got it all right? We have nothing to worry about. So, Ishmael, what will the world be like immediately following the EBS? Well, there's going to be a lot of cognitive dissonance for once. There's going to be different layers of disclosures, different levels of disclosure after disclosure after disclosure. So, I mean, yeah, the normies are going to be shocked. Some of them might poop their pants, all right? I'm sorry to say it like that. Billy Carson said that Thoth was the king of Atlantis. No, that is an inverted mistranslation of the ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets. Thoth defected from the Emerald Order, from the Guardian Alliance, in order to serve the Luciferian Manifesto. So that is incorrect. He was not the king of Atlantis. All right. The king of Atlantis was Atlas, the nephew of Anu, who was a pure Pleiadian by DNA birthright and had a little bit of Syrian and Lyrian in him, but he was mostly Pleiadian. So the king of Atlantis was a Pleiadian by the name of Atlas. In fact, in the Pleiadians star systems, we do have a star system called Atlas, right? It's part of the Seven Sisters. So no, it wasn't Thoth. It was Atlas, the king of Atlantis. Yes, Princess Diana is alive. I do have some new people here that are probably new to the Great Awakening. And yes, Princess Diana is alive. JFK Jr. is alive. And I'm even starting to think that Marilyn Monroe and Elvis are also still alive. Question by Neil: why are there soldiers in New York? Well, because of all of the illegal criminals that have been, some of them have been activated, right? I don't know if you guys heard what happened in Denver, Colorado last week, or was it in certain parts of Colorado where they were literally wreaking havoc, breaking into people's homes, apartments. These sleeper cells, these illegal criminals that, again, the Cabal has flooded our states with, are being activated. So that's the reason why some of the military has been dispatched to certain key areas or key cities in the states, to answer your question. Yes, JFK Jr. is coming back too, and JFK Sr. For those that didn't know, I was the first one to reveal in my Nikola Tesla live 2 months ago, right? Nikola Tesla's secrets and time travel, that JFK Sr. also was taken off world 2 days prior to the Texas event. And that was a duplicate. That was a double gang or whatever it's called. A lookalike. Oh. What will happen to foreign currency after the reset? Well, I would say that again, when the entire so all foreign currencies are based on the old structure, which is paper fiat money, right? Babylonian fiat money, uh, controlled by the central banking systems. All that stuff is going to be collapsing. So the entire planet is going to be under a new financial system, QFS, um, using gold, silver, and precious metals to back it up. So yeah, all currencies are collapsing, not just here in the US. Should I sell my Bitcoin? Yeah, absolutely. You know, unless you want to lose your assets there or whatever you invested in there. Question: can Zeus be our higher self? Well, Zeus is the progenitor, genetic DNA progenitor of the bloodline of King David, Solomon, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and then today they are the Trumps, the Kennedys, Lincolns, Princess Diana. So yes, in a way, Zeus is like, you know, he is the one who brought the royal galactic blood, uh, the royal galactic human blood, not reptilian, to the earth. Absolutely. But no, is he our higher self? No, he's not our higher self. He's just, you could say, you know, he just, the best way to describe Zeus is he was a huge player during the days of Atlantis, in terms of guarding the earth and protecting the earth. What will happen with student loans? Well, from what I understand, part of the NACERA programs is forgiveness of debt, student loans, mortgage, IRS is going to be taken out, all that stuff. No more taxes. No more taxes. We're actually going to bring it back to the original Constitution. When are we getting Q phones? I would say immediately following the 10 days of darkness and the new financial system and the new political system. Yes, the only, okay, XRP and XLM work with the quantum financial system. That's right, Mathis Chronicles. Thank you for pointing that out. XRP XLM is not Bitcoin and it's not cryptocurrency like we know it with blockchain technology, right? That is totally different. So XRP XLM is fine. That is going to be part of the new system. Absolutely. Yes. Is Zeus Enlil still alive in his Anunnaki former blessings? Well, from what I understand, is the gods of ancient mythology, including the guardians of old, Zeus, Krishna, which is a vegan from planet Vega. For those that watched my live on Saturday, right? The blue people come from Vega, right? They all went off to fight the war against the AI god. So all the guardians were needed for that war in order to hold him off until we activated our powers, because we're the ones that are going to kill the AI god at the end of the millennium in the final war against AI. And AI is the beast, by the way. For those that are new to my channel, AI is the emerging beast of Revelations, right? Okay. And the mark of the beast is going to be an implant, right? It's going to be a chip. But that's a different story. And as you guys know, they kind of already started implementing that in 2020 when they rolled out, that stuff. That's all a precursor to the mark of the beast. Is Elder Akai the leader of the Galactic Federation of Light? No. And quite frankly, it's actually called the Galactic Alliance. It used to be called the Galactic Federation of Worlds. It was never called the Galactic Federation of Light. That is a imposter name used by the negative alien syndicate groups of Orion to pose as the good guys. So the original name was the Galactic Federation of Worlds, as revealed in my book, Our Cosmic Origin. So no, they don't have just one leader. No. They have councils. You guys have to understand the way the Galactic Federation, or now known as the Galactic Alliance, is organized is by different levels of councils. All right, so they have different, councils that pertain to different systems. You have, regional councils that consist of multiple systems. And then overall, you have the Syrian High Council, which is the high command overseeing the entire galactic systems. And then if you guys want to go down into specifics, we also have planetary councils. So every planet that is part of the Federation has representatives that are included or represented in those councils. So you have planetary councils, you have system councils, regional councils, which are all overseen by the umbrella of the Syrian High Council, which is the high command. So no, there is no one leader of the Galactic Federation. It is a collaboration of many advanced elders, advanced races that are monitoring, protecting, and maintaining balance and harmony throughout the universe. Ishmael, what does it mean that the dead are sleeping in biblical says in their graves? Well, there is a passage in the Bible that indicates that the dead will rise, right, at the time of the birthing of the new earth, right, returning back to heaven on earth, the kingdom of God restored. The death, in other words, the people that died are going to be resurrected, and they're going to be merging with their celestial body, which is their light body. So they're going to go directly into the new earth. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. You guys see Athena. Hi. They're all acknowledging you, Athena. What is it? You have to go potty or something? Oh, she just blinked at me. She was like, give me about 10 more minutes and I'll take you potty. Okay. She's giving me that puppy low, please, please, pet me, please. All right. You just wanted to be pet, huh? All right. All right. I'll take you potty in 10 minutes. Just don't lick my legs, Athena. Don't lick my legs, or it's itchy. It's tickling me. um. Someone is asking, Peter is asking, why am I still afraid to use Trump or elections and stuff? Well, guys, like I said, until Project Odin takes over all media, including social media, I still got to be careful, guys. This is like really my only platform where I get to, give you guys intel, keep you guys informed. I would be doing me a disfavor as well as you a disfavor if all of a sudden I didn't have this platform. So, yeah, that's, I just have to be careful until Project Odin takes effect, my friend. No, I don't have any cats at all. I just have one dog. I how about Rumble? Well, I don't have the following on Rumble that I have on YouTube. I think I only have like 3,000 subscribers. I mean, if you guys want to go on my Rumble channel and subscribe, we could get that up to 10, at least easily 10,000 subscribers overnight if everyone who watches this goes to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and clicks on Rumble to my direct link to my real Rumble channel and just subscribe. And, that way I can have a backup platform in case anything happens. So, yeah, I strongly encourage everybody that watches this to go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and click on my Rumble link and subscribe. Are fly spies? In some cases, yeah. Bill Gates and Other tech companies are building nano-sized mechanical um, flies, mosquitoes, dragonflies, bumblebees. There are artificial bugs, you could say, that look real but are really machines, and they're being controlled through remote control. Absolutely, they are real, by the way. Do you have an estimated on a time for the EBS? Well, like I said, what's going to activate the EBS is this orchestrated scare event that is going to it's going to appear as if we're going to be entering the Third World War. The sirens are going to be sounding everywhere, and then right in the nick of time, they're going to counteract it with the implementation of the EBS, 10 Days of Darkness, worldwide martial law, white hat military, just like I mentioned in today's life. Okay, so this scare event is not being conducted by the Cabal. It's being conducted by the good guys. They need a reason to overthrow the current world paradigm in order to install the new system. It's the same methodology that the Cabal has always used, right? They create the problem, people react to the problem, and then they offer their solution, right? Problem, reaction, solution. That's something that has worked for both brotherhoods, dark and light. So they're just playing them in their own game now. It's also known as the Hegelian dialect from Friedrich Hegel, right? You create the problem, people react, and then you offer the solution, right? For instance, 9/11. You create the problem, people react, and then they offer their solution. And in this case, they wanted to implement martial law, but by the bad guys. But that to give full control to the executive branch. In that case, that would have been the Bushes, but it didn't happen. Thank God. Spiders, insects, bugs that are just horrible, things that bite you, were products of the non-black cosmic ray of Lord Odin, who later became Lucifer. He was in charge of the 11th creation. We're part of the 12th creation. It's all in our cosmic origin. So yeah, spiders, black widows, mosquitoes. That was not part of God's original creation, right? So anything that is lethal, it was all created by Lucifer's dark non-cosmic blade of Kal-Adhan. That's what it's called. So there's the 12 cosmic rays, right? Michael is the adept of the 12 cosmic ray of the Clusian ray of power and rulership, right? He represents divine kingship, right? The king of Lyra. The 12 original Lyran tribes were the children of Michael, right? And that's where we trace the royal galactic blood that came through Anu and Enlil, Zeus, and continued through King David, Solomon, Jesus, Mary Magdalene. So is it okay to kill ants and flies? Absolutely. Absolutely. And also it's okay to kill black widows, because if you don't kill the black widow, chances are is if you get bitten by a black widow, you're not going to make it unless they suck that poison out of you. All right, in the nick of time, hopefully. Black widows are lethal. Okay, so of course it's like martial arts. You're preserving your life by preventing something bad happening to you. She's just laying there. All right. Maybe one of these days she'll take over and do the live once we ascend into the 50 earth and animals are able to talk. She'll be the one doing the live here for you guys. I'm just kidding. Ishmael, explain CDT plates. Well, the abbreviation CDT stands for Cloister Dora Terra plates, which were originally 12 manuscripts. Each manuscript was given to one of the 12 tribes of the original angelic or the original celestial human races, right? Which, again, those were the original humans. A degenerative, you could say, lineage of those races became the Atlanteans. But this is going back before Atlantis, during the first seeding of 560 million years ago, here on Earth, Terra, when Earth was still in the fifth dimension, before she dropped into the three dimension. So the CDT plates are 12 holographic discs. Each one was given to one of the 12 celestial human families, the original celestial human families, in order to protect. So after so many epochs, rise and fall of civilizations due to the war against the Draco and AI, some of these plates were lost. Some of them were taken off world. I believe 10 of them were left behind. And Thoth, unfortunately, Thoth had access to those 10, with the exception of 2 that were taken back to Sirius. And that's when Thoth, the Atlantean, another son of Enki, also known as Quetzalcoatl to the Mayans and Kukulkan to the Aztecs, corrupted, right? The plump serpent, reptilian. There you go. Thoth was reptilian, plump serpent. He corrupted those plates, and then he wrote the Emerald Tablets. Do you believe in numerology, and what number are you? I don't know what number I am, but yes, I do believe in these esoteric sciences, you could say. I believe in astrology. I believe in tarot, numerology. Those are all part of the divine sciences. And when we come back into the golden age, those, you could say, they're going to be used as tools. They're divination tools, you could say. What about roaches, rats, and mice? Again, all of those nasty things were the offspring of the non-black cosmic ray of Caladhan, which is Lucifer's ray. Lucifer was the creator of black widows, bugs, nasty bugs, rats, roaches. All that stuff was not part of God's blueprint, right? God's creation was flowers, ladybugs, bees, right? Bees are friendly, by the way. They only sting you if you try to mess with it. Things that look pretty, you could say, that are not dark. All right, 2 more questions, guys. 2 more questions. In the 10 days of darkness, will some people's powers come online due to the evil grid being out? That is a very good question. I don't know if I should share this with you guys, but I guess I will. I was told by the Guardian Alliance that the first wave of activators, in other words, the first people that are going to be inheriting their ascended abilities, right? They're going to be anchoring in their what is known as their overself into physical form, giving them ascended abilities. I don't even know if I should tell you guys this when, but it's going to happen at the end of this year. That's what I was told. I guess we're all going to find out, right? And then they're going to set the chain reaction for the next group to activate. And then that in turn will activate all the star people on the planet, or the indigo races that are here now in their 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s, 80s. Again, we started incarnating since the 1940s. No, I don't channel light language and draw them into the daisy. That's not my expertise. I'm sorry. I am a cosmic historian, galactic ambassador. I don't really, light language is not my forte. And by the way, for those that want to take our Cosmic Origin course, I do have a few openings left. Class begins on the 21st of September or 22nd, which is on a Saturday and Sunday. For those that want to join and get their minds blown and get 4 weeks of intel regarding the entire cosmic infrastructure, all the councils of light, the entire history, dimensions, civilizations, and everything that nobody on this planet has shared. All right. So yeah, I do have some spots left. Go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. And September 21st and 22nd is when our Cosmic Origin class begins. Can you explain to people what reverse speaking is? Anthony is asking me. I can if I don't know what it is myself. I'm gonna have to look into that, Anthony, and I'll probably answer that next time. So maybe you could type it in the chat. You know, tell us what it is. Tell us what reverse speaking is. I want to know. Well, yeah, the 144 elect, the chosen ones, right? God's warriors here on the earth are the indigo races, ranging from 10 years old to 80 something years old. Okay, so we are in every age bracket. Is the solar flash the rapture? Ish says springtime, March. I think he said that before. Yes, because, yes, well, to answer the first part of your question, yes, that's going to be the rapture, where there's going to be a bifurcation. The righteous from the wicked are going to be separated, right? The righteous are going to go into 4th, 5th earth and up. And the wicked are going to unfortunately go into the different distorted technological 4D timeline. Which is going to be ruled by the AI God, hence the Antichrist. And then the next part of your question is, will it happen in spring 2025? Well, that's when we're expecting solar maximum. So there is a huge potential that it might. Absolutely. Thank you for all of the free content of knowledge and wisdom, says James B. Hines. You're welcome, guys. I love coming on live and sharing intel with you guys, keeping you guys up to date, preparing you guys for what appears to be the great shift of the ages. But yeah, it's an honor to serve. It's an honor to be here at this time. I'm even grateful that I have people that listen to me. Like literally, like every night I go to sleep in gratitude, thanking God that you guys are here, that I even have a platform. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. It is an honor to serve. And as long as I have people who are willing to listen, I'm always going to share my knowledge and wisdom and research for, with you guys. So thank you. All right. So reverse language, when they take what him says, okay, it backwards, and others' words aren't heard. Okay. The truth is what they think is revealed. Okay, I guess let me try to read that again. Hold on one second. Oops, I just lost it. Hold on one second. Hold on. See, now I'm curious to what that means. So let me try to rewind the chat. How do you rewind the chat? Oh, there we go. All right. So according to Laura Barber, thank you so much for answering the question, Laura. Big shout out to Laura. Reverse language. Lost it. Reverse language, when they take what someone says, okay, it backwards, and others' words and other words are heard. The truth is what they really think is revealed. Oh, okay, so that's what that means. I didn't know that. So it's basically taking somebody's words, right, and saying it backwards with other words, and heard the truth. I still don't understand what that means, but I mean, to me, it sounds like it's taking somebody's words and then saying it in your own words. right? Am I correct? All right, guys, I think it's time to watch the debate. I will watch it from the beginning. I know Trump kicked her butt. I know that she probably stumbled and she probably lied about certain things like they always do, but I guess we're going to find out. So with that in mind, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're new. And thank you again so much for being here. We're going to go back to White Hat Mondays as usual. Again, today was a special day. All right, I had to postpone it a day later, but next week on Monday we're going to be back on track. However, I do want to mention that this Wednesday evening, which is tomorrow night, I have a special guest for you guys. All right, she is also a galactic historian, Akashic Records reader. She goes by the name of Debbie Solaris. She's been featured on Gaia. She's been speaking all over the world, and she's going to be joining us tomorrow night. So have questions for her. I'm going to have questions for her, and I hope you guys have questions for her as well. So may the God Force be with you all. Never forget who you are, and question everything. We'll see you guys tomorrow night with Debbie Solaris. Bye.